You may notice some chirping in the background of this video. That's because I am in a high bird environment. So please excuse those noises. Now, on today's video, I shall be going around the trees of Catherby and determining if people have permission to be chopping down those trees. There is a problem of deforestation that is taking over the world of Gillinor. There is something like, only like, I don't know, I'm just going to hazard a guess, and I'm very bad at guesstimating, but I'd say around 500 million trees left in Gillinor. Give or take a few 100 million trees. Now, I'm going to make sure that these people have the proper permits to be able to chop down these trees. Let's start off by going into the American world and seeing if they have the proper permits. After a while of waiting around, I got no response. Why? Because the people in the American world have no sense of humour or fun. They are just here to purely chop trees. They do not have permits, as far as I can tell. So let's go to an Australian world and see if they have a sense of humour and if they have any permits to cut down these trees. I'm just checking permits, guys. This guy goes, oh shit, and says fashion. And the other guy says, I'll just go. Fashion turned to the left. As we all know, everyone's a fan of David Bowie. But they're being kind, they're saying they like my door, and I said thank you, but I'm still going to need to see a permit for cutting down these trees. These are heritage listed, and they're pleading with me. This guy says, I'd show you mine, but I can't trade, sorry. And I wanted to make sure that he definitely has a permit. So I asked him, you definitely have one, but you can't show me? I'm willing to trust you. And he says, oh, of course. Okay, so I'm willing to buy that. What about the rest of you? Do you have permits? I'm not hearing any yeses or nos. This guy asked to duel me and starts attacking me violently with these magic cards. And I said, no permit, you're going to have to take it up with a judge. But my door of dominance is no match for his cards. As you can see, they are getting through my barrier. He says no card shall pass, which in this case is not true. All cards shall pass. I am a card sponge, however, and I can take it. And he suggests, how about I show you a little something and you let me go? And I said, if you don't mention it to anyone else, I can be bribed. And he said, I have this amazing Pokemon card collection. I am, of course, listening. Responsible woodcutters replanting our trees. And I said, that's fair, but you still have to have a permit. I have been assigned to look out for the well-being of these trees. And they empathise, these poor trees. Did you know only 70% of Runescape is covered with trees? And this guy, he's blaming the other players without permits. Look what you've done, Volt. But, of course, Volt apparently has a permit. I just haven't seen it because he can't show me apparently, but he's definitely got one. And it's safely secure, taking up valuable inventory space. And it's not a beginner clue. And I said, that's fine. I trust you. Why would he lie? Why would any of these people lie? They either have a permit or they don't. And they're going to let me know. He's got a nice shield. And he likes mine too. Mine's actually not a shield. But its preferred title is the Door of Dominance. A man in Draenor can sort you out with one if you mention my name. He calls it something different though. This guy's thinking. He's a deep thinker. See, he's heard of the man. He knows he sells many interesting things. And he promises he's going to visit them someday. And he will be pleased. This man is the only source of the Door of Dominance. We nod and bow, and everything seems to be in order here. Someone has assured me they have a permit, but I have to go and find the illegal loggers. Because there's got to be some. I know there are people here without permits. And I came over to the yew trees and I said, I need to see some permits. Come on, guys. How else am I going to know if you're legally allowed to cut these trees? I need to see a permit first. There have been reports of illegal logging. This guy thinks he's being funny and says, I just produced the biggest log. So I changed worlds. See if the people in the UK have permits to cut down these trees. This guy says he's got a fishing license, if that counts. And this guy says, permit these nuts. We've got another joker here. Now, it could be a dual fishing and tree cutting license. But is it? Is he going to assure me of this? If not, he will have to take it up with a judge. And he asked me which one. The one to the east. Of course, the judge, we all know, is the judge for the environment. The most powerful judge in all of Runescape. They give out permits, which you should have if you're logging here. And this guy said the trees grow back though. Slowly. Very, very slowly. Why are you carrying a door? Look, I'm just here to prevent illegal logging. And he says, I hope that's your door. And I have permission to carry this door. That guy said, it's a fertile ground with all these corpses. Which is true. But it's the door of dominance. And regardless, you need to have a permit. This guy's being a bit facetious, and he says, it looks like I've stolen my door. And I tell them about the permits, and I have to take them on their word if they have one or not. And this guy says, if I refuse, then you'll have to take it up with a judge, the most powerful judge in all of Gillinor. And this guy says, judge this, and then gives me a twirl. And excuse me, there's no need for that, buddy. That's just taking things too far. And at this point, they are quaking in their little boots because they do not want the long, hard, woody, heavy, bulbous, unrelenting cock of the environmental law coming down upon them. Is there a temporary permit I can borrow, he asks. I can give you one. That sounds like a solution. That's what I wanted this whole time. I'm not legally allowed to see if you have a permit or not. I have to take you on your word. I've reminded them of this several fucking times. And this guy says, but what if I can't lie? And you shouldn't lie. You should tell me if you have a permit or not. Excuse the little dinosaur noises. I hope he's getting a permit. He's run off to the bank. And that guy says, yep, he agrees with me. Because that makes my job a lot easier. Oh, so this guy has apparently dropped a permit for me to have a look at, to inspect. But I would argue that that isn't a permit that you dropped. Those are yew logs. Okay? The papyrus, that could be a permit. You can write on papyrus. And that guy argues that a yew log is a permit on the US server. But I'm willing to accept you have permission to cut these trees. But you need to show me a permit. And he said there is one under me. So I had a look at the papyrus. I can't make out any words on it, but I'm taking him on his word that it's definitely a permit for cutting these trees. So I thanked him, let him know I'm satisfied, and decided to be on my merry way. And that's the end of finding if people have permission to cut the trees. Oh, where are we? In Catherby. Or is it Camelot? And I hope you enjoyed seeing these people's reaction to being confronted with a real serious issue of illegal logging in RuneScape. Hopefully, in the future, people have their permits when I ask them for them. And we won't have any more little scoundrels like that one telling me to permit these nuts. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you on my next one. Goodbye. Farewell.